Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Craig Button's newly released Top 100 draft ranking. Now, we're not going to go over the full 100 because that would be way too long of a video, but we are going to go over the top 10 that he has listed, and then we're going to go over a couple of guys that I am very surprised about where they are placed. And before I give you my opinion, I just want to say that everyone has a different perspective when it comes to ranking these prospects. You know, I'll have a guy in the top 10 that some people might not even have in the top 50. It varies a ton, and no one could be sure until draft day. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into his top 10. Obviously, if we take a look at number 1, we all know who it's going to be. It is the obvious Connor Bedard. Nobody has this guy anywhere else but number 1 overall. It's not going to happen. He's not going anywhere else. This is not the same thing as Shane Wright before I get any of those comments. Connor Bedard's number 1, and I have to agree with Craig here. Connor is also number 1 on my list, which I have not released yet, but, you know, we all have the same thing. Now, if we take a look at number 2, it also comes to no surprise. He has Adam Fantilli going 2nd overall, and once again, just like 1st overall, most people have Adam Fantilli going 2nd. So the first 2, they're a given. They're nice and easy. You know, he hasn't screwed anything up just yet. And now to complete the top 3, at number 3, he has listed Leo Carlsson, which is where most people have him. A lot of people have him at number 4, maybe even some putting him at the number 2 spot. But on average, he will be going number 3 on most people's lists. Some people think that Anaheim's going to take a swing at him at number 2, and some even think that he's going to fall to the Habs at 5. So that does it for the top 3. Now at number 4, Craig Button has Matvei Michkov, and I'm not very surprised in him placing him here because he's obviously a top 5 player. He's even a top 2 player in this draft class. I just don't think that he's going to get selected 4th overall due to the politics, you know, the controversy, a lot of uncertainty. Michkov is probably not going to go in the top 5, which is a real bummer because obviously the Habs are selecting 5th overall, and we all want us to pick him. But I just don't see it happening. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I just don't see it happening. All right, that does it for the top 4. Now we're going to take a look at number 5, and this is where it gets interesting. Not only just because the Montreal Canadiens are selecting 5th overall, but Craig Button has a defenseman. And it is not the defenseman that everyone thought would be going in the top 10 in David Reinbacher. It is not him. It is Axel Sandin Pellikka, who is someone that I am very high on. I think he's going to be an amazing player, and I would love the Habs to take him. Just not at number 5. Craig Button always has a couple of players that he just sticks his mind on. You know, if you look at the Montreal Canadiens, if you ever watch the games, he loves Nick Suzuki. He loves Caden Gooley. And in this draft class, it is Dalibor Dvorsky and Axel Sandin Pellikka. Those are the 2 guys that he praises above anybody else. So, Axel Sandin Pellikka at number 5, a big surprise to most people, myself included. I personally would not select him that high, but he definitely has the upside to be a top 5 player in my opinion. Now moving on to number 6, he has Will Smith. I'd be really surprised if Will Smith falls out of the top 5, but, you know, there's always a possibility if one of the teams tries to select a defenseman or another player real early on. On to number 7, he has Edward Sale, and I don't know if I pronounced that right. I swear I heard people say Chalet once, but we're going to say Edward Sale, just so I don't want to butcher anything too badly. But yeah, to me, this is another big surprise. I personally don't think Sale is going to be in the top 15. I would give him between 15 and 25 maybe, but I just don't think that his draft year has been worthy of a top 7 pick. So that is now 2 things that I'm very surprised about that Craig Button has done in his top 10, and we're only at number 7. And now we're going to add a 3rd thing that I'm surprised about. At number 8, he has Tom Willander, who is somebody that I think would go between 20 and 30. Don't take my word for it. You know, I'm not any professional scout or anything. I just do my own little things. I watch my own clips, watch a couple games, and I form my own opinion. But number 8 seems very high to me for this pick, and I would not be happy if we were selecting 8th and this was our choice. Not one bit. I just don't see him being selected in the top 10, let alone top 15. But hey, that's just another one of Craig Button's very questionable selections. And now at number 9, we have the former 5th place guy on Craig Button's list, which was Dalibor Dvorsky. I say that because a couple months ago, or however long it was, when he released another list, At number 5, he had Dalibor Dvorsky, and he was in love with the guy. And now he replaced him at number 5 with his other guy that he's hyper fixated on. But yeah, Dalibor Dvorsky at 9, which is just about where I would place him on my list as well. I think he's a very solid player. I had a lot of questions about him even being a top 10 player months ago, but his World Junior campaign was excellent, and I cannot downplay that. He had a very good tournament, and I do think he's going to go top 10. So to me, number 9 is a very good place for Dalibor Dvorsky. Now to number 10, the final of the top 10. He has Colby Barlow, and this guy is kind of like a 50-50. You look at most people's list, and he might be top 15. Some people might even swing for him in the top 10. And then a lot of people say that he's more of like a top 25 guy, like he's good, but a lot of people don't see the promise, which is fair. But to me, top 10, it's a little too high, but I don't think he's that far off. Anyways, that is his top 10. We're going to take a quick look at a couple players that I don't even know how to say. The word surprised does not even equate to how I feel when I see where Craig Button has listed these players. For starters, he has Ryan Leonard at number 12. And you know what? Some people might be on his side about this, but I really think Ryan Leonard is a top 10 pick, no doubt now. And it's kind of looking like he might even go top 5 with the Habs taking him at 5th overall. Another guy that I'm surprised about, even more than that, it is Zach Benson at number 14. That is outright crazy. Zach Benson, to me, he is top 6. I'm going to have him at 6th overall. I would put him top 5 possibly too. The only reason people have him this low, it has to be because of his size. And I don't think people are learning from their mistakes, because Cole Caulfield should have gone top 5 in his draft class minimum and dropped way too far down because of his height. Zach Benson is very good offensively, very good defensively, a well-rounded player, and despite his size, he is still a very solid player. So him at 14 is an absolute steal for anybody that gets him out of the top 10, but it's just disrespectful to put him that far. I'm not going to lie. And the final guy that I'm going to talk about, it is Andrew Crystal, who is at 35th overall on his list. I know a lot of people are not too keen, and they don't really think that he's going to be able to translate his game into the big leagues, but I don't think 35th overall is the right place for him. In my opinion, top 25 minimum. If he goes anywhere above that, I think it is a steal for whoever selects him. Anyways, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. We took a look at Craig Button's newly released draft rankings. We took a look at his top 10, and then I went over 3 players who I was very surprised about where Craig Button has them listed. So if you did enjoy today's video, don't be afraid to hit that like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Now, with that being said, I'll see you all next time. Take care.